Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Praymore, and for those who are returning, welcome back. Today I'm going to be trying something different. I'm doing an audio version of what I was doing with my videos. So different topic, same format as my videos, just because most of my videos had very low audio. So I hope this is going to be something that improves that. And today I'm going to be speaking about affirmations. What are they? Do they work for me? Because I've actually tried affirmations before, and just my observations with them for those who are into affirmations or trying to go into it. I found 3 definitions that I found really helpful. And the first one says that an affirmation is a statement that is declared to be true. Very straightforward, simple definition. The second one says that they are statements that are used to challenge negative or unhelpful thoughts. So we're speaking here in terms of positive affirmations. That's why it says that they're statements used to challenge negative or unhelpful thoughts. Then the third one says that affirmations are brief phrases repeated frequently, designed to encourage positive, happy feelings, thoughts, and attitudes. So did affirmations work for me? I used to wake up every morning. I had a sheet with my affirmations on it, and I would say them to myself. And over time, I started to to ask myself if it really worked for me or not. And I don't think it worked for me, honestly. And the main issue that I had with affirmations was the fact that most of the times people who do affirmations don't admit to themselves that they're trying to convince themselves of something that they don't believe, which is what I was doing. I was saying things that I wanted to see, but I didn't believe those things that are coming out of my mouth. So it's an affirmation like I am successful, for instance. In order for me to rehearse it, in order for me to stand in front of my mirror and say I am successful, it's because I don't believe I am successful. And I didn't admit that to myself because I thought that saying it enough is going to make me believe it at some point. But it didn't work out that way for me. And there are many affirmations like I'm beautiful, for instance. An affirmation like that comes from a place of, your image of yourself, how you conceive yourself, your self-esteem, your beliefs about maybe your appearance. And these things could come from the standards that are set by the society you live in, the beauty standards that are set by the society you live in. And it's a legit thing. But just throwing words over it doesn't change it. I was reading a book by Jay Shetty, Think Like a Monk. He said, he quoted someone who said, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. But I am who I think you think I am. I'm going to repeat that again. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. But I am who I think you think I am. So we basically live in a perception of ourselves. We view ourselves in ways that we think other people view ourselves as. And that could be the causes of your self-esteem issues. It could be the cause of you viewing yourself as less of a person. It could be the cause of you seeing yourself as though you're not successful. Maybe it's your definition of success that has to change, So there are real root issues that cause us to believe certain things about ourselves, but affirming it, saying affirmations over it does not change it. It doesn't change the reality. So that was the first issue that I had with it. And the second thing is many people say affirmations in attempt to change their values. So for instance, someone is going to say that I am trustworthy, whereas they don't really value trustworthiness. So your affirmations don't change your values, because your values are not things that you just wake up one day and decide, okay, I'm going to value this and this and this. We get our values from the experiences that we had. We get our values from the situations we found ourselves in. It's the experiences that we had that build up our values. So if you're trying to change your values, position yourself in environments that are going to promote the value that you want. If you want to be a person who has integrity, for instance, Look for people who value integrity. Look for people who value the value that you want, and surround yourself with them. And you'll tend to be in situations that are going to promote integrity, instead of just affirming to yourself that I have integrity. Whereas deep down inside, you know you don't have it, and there's nothing that is really improving. There's nothing that's really changing in that aspect. And the social influence that we have is really powerful. There's a research that I read on that said that children from the ages of 0 to 7 are observing all the time. They're sort of being hypnotized, if you want to call it that, because they're absorbing all these programs, all these rules and behaviors of how to behave, how to act, how to function in relation to other people. Rules that you don't necessarily teach a child. You don't teach a child the importance of, swallowing their food, or basic things. Maybe that's a bad example, but there's so many unspoken rules that they learn through observation, and that creates a program, the program that they live by. And 95% of our behavior, according to this research, 95% of our behavior is influenced by our subconscious. So that's why it's important for us to put emphasis on the root of what we do, instead of saying things over it and trying to convince ourselves that saying it is going to cover it up, because it doesn't. It doesn't solve it, right? So if you grew up around people who made poor decisions, maybe poor financial decisions, you're also going to start making poor financial decisions subconsciously, without even realizing it, because most of your behavior is influenced by the subconscious. So the rule is, don't try to override the program that you have, but try to reprogram that program. And that takes a lot. That takes a lot of self-awareness. That takes a lot of observing your behavior, just standing outside of yourself and seeing how you behave. Because no matter how many times you can say to yourself that I am financially responsible, you still have those behaviors built inside you. And the only thing that is going to happen by you repeating these phrases is you're going to know the phrase so well, to the point where you don't even have to give it much thought before you say it, but you're still repeating the same sets of behavior. We need to start practicing to say what we believe. Don't throw a whitewash of positivity over a mountain of unhealthy thoughts, but instead clean out the destructive thought patterns that are already there. There's a video that I did on toxic positivity. If you haven't watched it, check it out, because there are a few tips that are there that could help you out in dealing with these destructive thought patterns. Because if you don't, it's a form of denial, and people use denial as a coping mechanism, because it creates a version of reality for them that is safe and that allows them not to deal with their problems. And it creates, it makes them believe that they don't have anything to deal with. But in that video, I'm sure you're going to see how dangerous that is on your brain and on many other aspects of your life. There was an experiment that was done between people with low self-esteem and those with high self-esteem. And they were told, both these groups of people were told to repeat the phrase, I am a lovable person. And those with low self-esteem felt worse about themselves after repeating this phrase over and over. Whereas those with high self-esteem felt better about themselves. And the reason behind this is this affirmation phrase was incongruent with the mindset of those who had low self-esteem. So it created a form of conflict. I've spoken sometime about cognitive dissonance. There's a mismatch between what you are saying and what you really believe. Whereas for those who had high self-esteem, saying a phrase like I'm a lovable person is something that they believe, something that is true to them. So saying it meant something for them. So it's very important for you to say what you believe. There's something that I read called the placebo effect. So for instance, you have a headache and someone gives you a pill and the headache goes away, but then later you're told that that pill that you took actually wasn't for a headache. But because you believed in the pill, that pill did something for you. So that's the placebo effect. And at minimum, a third of all medical intervention uses it, which shows you how powerful what you believe is, which is why I believe that the emphasis should be on what you believe over what you are saying to try to convince yourself. And I believe that if you truly believe something, you honestly don't have to rehearse it. It's going to naturally flow out of you. It's going to come out in one way or another. It might not even be verbal. Sometimes I really find it strange, when someone keeps telling everyone, well, I'm beautiful, I'm awesome, I'm this and I'm that. Because it always appears as though that person is trying to convince themselves of something that they don't truly believe. So sometimes it does come out verbally, sometimes it comes out in how you act and how you behave. You can see someone who's confident, you can see someone who feels good about themselves, you can see someone who feels beautiful, you can see someone who, it reflects itself in so many ways. It could be the aura around you, it could be, but always trying to be something is frustrating. Trying to be something you don't believe is frustrating. It makes you feel worse. It makes you feel worse afterwards. So that's the bottom line. Say what you believe, be honest with yourself. And if you're someone who's trying affirmations out, read up on it. There's so many different kinds of affirmations that you can do. There's so many different ways of doing it. It might have not worked for me personally, but for you, when you do it, just try to observe the results that you get from it and try to be honest with yourself to see if it actually works for you, because that's the main thing that is important. Just be honest with yourself, see if the results were what you expected to see, or if they came from you saying affirmations. Try different ones out and see which ones work for you, if there are those which do. And I hope this helps you out in one way or another. Thank you so much for listening. Until the next one. Bye.